Hey campers, today we're going to work on making a macrame plant hanger. Now macrame is just a fancy way of making knots. And two of the knots I want to show you today, well really one of the knots that we're going to learn today is right here, is a square knot. You can see how it gives you a nice flat pattern here. Now one of the things you need to decide is first, how big a plant do you want to work with? How big a pot? We're going to make a holder for a pot that's this big, which means we really don't want to use a really heavy rope. But you can see that if I were to cut this kind of thread, this kind of macrame string, or this kind of macrame string, I'm going to get different size knots. Now for this one here, I'm going to try working, because it's a small pot, I'm going to work with some thin string. Now the question you have to ask yourself is, how far down do you want your pot to hang? Because if I were to hook it up here and bring it down to here, I need longer strings. So we're going to go for a relatively short pot. Now if you look over here, you can see how using macrame string, you can get different patterns. Here's the square knot I showed you, and this is a spiral knot you can also do. Don't follow this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take our string and we're going to measure it out. And we can approximate the measurement. So we're going to take this and I'm just going to run it like this. All right, now obviously my arms are a little bit longer than yours might be, but that's okay. It's better to have too much rope than not enough. Now I'm going to run it again. And then again. And I think what we're going to do this time is go with just 3 strings. All right, so now I take it, and I even them out. And you can see I've got 3 strings that are approximately the same size. And again, if they're not exact, it's not a big deal. Now, I'm going to take the loops at the ends and I'm going to cut those. Okay, so now I've got 3 separate pieces of string that are about the same size. Now what I need to do is take those 3 and figure out where about halfway is, like this. And I'm going to create my loop. And this is going to be what we use to hang it. So we take that and leave yourself enough room as if your finger is there and just tie a knot. And you see that knot is going to be what goes around the hook. Now I'm going to take it, and you want to find a place now where you can work like this. If you need to get closer, Martin, get closer. Now you can see I've got about this much to work with for my pot. And I want to think about, where do I want the pot to be? I can't put it down this low, but I might want it to be about here. You know, that might be a nice place to put it. So now I have to think about where I want my first set of knots. Okay, so I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to look at pairing up my strings so that they sort of go with each other. All right, so I've got 2, 2, and 2. I'm going to come down about here. Can you get closer? You want to get really close. We're going to come down about here. I'm going to take the right hand string and go over the left hand string and make a knot. Right about there. And now I'm going to take the left hand string and go over the right hand string and then make another knot. And that's basically what a square knot is. And then I tighten it up. And you see when I make that, it makes like a little box. Now I'm going to take two more and do the same thing. And I want to make sure that they all end up at the same height. So right hand in front first. Left hand goes through the hole to make a knot. Now left hand in front, and then right hand goes through the hole to make a knot. And again, I want to make sure they're both at about the same place. And then finally the last strings. Right hand in front, left hand through the hole to make a knot. Make sure it's at the right height. Now left hand in front and right hand through the hole. Now it doesn't really matter if you do right hand first or left hand first. The only thing you got to make sure of is that you always do the opposites. So if you do left hand first, you would do right hand second. All right, so now we've got these set up. Now the next thing I want to do is go down a little bit, like maybe about this far, and I'm going to pair them off like this. So it'll be this, and then this one, and then this one. And you can sort of see the pattern it's going to make. So right hand first, make the knot. Then left hand in front. Okay, now I'm going to pair up these two. Right hand in front. And again, make sure it's about the same length as the other one. So like if I pull this tight and I pull this tight, they should be about the same place. Now left hand in front and right hand to make the knot. All right, those are about the same place. And now this one. Right hand in front, left hand through the knot, left hand in front, right hand through the knot. You see, now we've got the beginning of the basket that's going to hold our pot. Now we're going to do a few of them all at the bottom, but first we want to see how it's going to fit the pot. And you can see that the pot will fit in here quite nicely. We just have to figure out, okay, where's that bottom knot going to go? So we find where the bottom is. And once I know where I want the knot to be, I know my knot's going to probably fall a little bit. So I'm going to very carefully take out the pot while I hold this. And now I just make a big knot out of all the strings. And I'm going to lower it just a little bit because my pot is also going to have a saucer in it. So here's how it goes. So that's how the saucer fits. And there's how the pot fits. And now it's ready for you to put in some dirt into the pot and then plant some seeds or make a plant or put something inside there. And that's how you can make a plant holder. If you want, you can trim these off or leave them hanging loose. And it's ready to go.